I don't want to get, and it has to do with generally the way the arguments for color primitivism are made. And often the way they get made, like the way John Campbell makes it in his essay, is to say, you think colors are mind dependent? Well, so's particularity. That is, there is a tendency, and it's no accident he's in the same philosophy department as Stroud, right? There is a tendency on the part of arguments for color primitivism to go toward an anti-realism that I would like to step out of the taxi well before that.
Questions galore. Okay. Here's a future philosophical question. What kind of groundwork would philosophers today in the coming decades need to lay out to start getting some real explanatory, some potent explanation for what color is as a substance, property, or entity, whatever? It seems like even to underpin it is almost a hard goal.
Here's what strikes me as an important project for philosophers right now, in service to the naturalism project.
Neurocomp?
And that is, right now, I think a lot of naturalists are flailing around because they don't have a theory about what they're naturalizing. I think before the naturalization process can be successful, arguably before the naturalization enterprise can begin, you have to get settled, to get some kind of coherent, settled view of what category the entity you are naturalizing fits into. In other words, I think Aristotle was on the right track. That is, what are perceptual capacities? You know, what are perceptual abilities? They're passions. You know, they're capacities to be affected by. What are thoughts? Thoughts are actions. So you have to get clear on, is belief a mental state? Is it a current mental state, a dispositional mental state? Is it an action? Is it being affected by things? I think before you even get started, I think you have to get clear on that. You know, and that's why getting clear on what colors are. It seems to me you're only going to be successful to give a naturalistic explanation of our capacity for color vision if you are clear on what they are. You're getting clear on what the metaphysics of color are, and that's just as getting clear on the metaphysics of belief states, getting clear on the metaphysics of thoughts. I think otherwise the naturalization project is just kind of flailing. You don't know when you're getting warm. So it seems to me that, one of the things that really has begun to consume me is, what is intentionality? What is our having a thought about something? And have the thought be a thought of that thing. That's one of the most mysterious elements in Aristotle. You were just going through Leibniz, reading it with, just reading through the monadology with this particular set of preoccupations in mind. I'm realizing he has no theory of it. He is in effect an eliminativist about intentionality. I mean, it's just, and then the solipsist idealist wonders why nobody comes to his meetings. Something has gone very badly wrong when that theory starts when that starts looking like something that you could possibly think. And it's just those of you taking my metaphysics class know, common sense is not a way of choosing among metaphysical theories. Common sense is a metaphysical theory, and limited one given its origins. But when a position becomes self-defeating or self-undermining, then that's generally an indication there's something wrong. You know, you've gone wrong. You're making an assumption you shouldn't make. And here's the theory. These theories are unconstrained in a way that a theory ought to be constrained. Something wrong. And so getting right on what sort of thing you're dealing with strikes me as important. And that, you know, that's a task of philosophy. That's a task for metaphysics. And it's really, really hard. But I don't see how the naturalization project is going to proceed unless they're clear on what it is they're naturalizing. I don't think that's going to emerge from flailing around. You know, we'll never get any closer. You know, it'll right now be the kind of cat's chorus that physicalism about colors has become.
Is it kind of like the Stroudian, where he says, when Barry Stroud says, it's like everybody marching under the banner of world peace, but nobody ever stopped to say what it was. They're just all marching together because the banner's nice and they kind of agree with the somewhat.
Yeah, he uses that in that essay, "The Charm of Naturalism." That strikes me as apropos here. We'd like to know. Okay, you know, let's spell out the goal and see if we're all still in favor of that goal.
Right. So maybe a lot of the contingencies or issues with, physicalism, eliminativism, and the like is just not having had a really good, clear indication of what we're trying to do. So we need to maybe take a step back and instead of trying to solve the problem, try to figure out what the problem is more clearly, which in itself's been a task in several decades in the making now, if not centuries.
Yeah, it's hard to be a thoroughgoing eliminativist about everything.
Right.
You know, the last one that really tried that was Parmenides. And I think my own interpretation of Parmenides is it was a reduction. It was a challenge. Okay, you know, if you take these certain assumptions, then everything that we think and feel, experience, and value is an illusion. Okay, what's wrong? What is wrong with the assumptions that get us there? You know, let's pick it apart. See if we can get the world back.
Any more questions?
Got 20 minutes.
We should give Dr. Pyne a round of applause for being here.
Wasn't the clear and most organized lecture one that's ever seen?
Is metaphysics ever that way?
Oh, I try.